Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
I appreciate your day today, but I did manage to wander into an ecchi trope.
How'd you manage that?
Listen, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it was just kind of funny. So, I was at work, minding my own business, mowing the lawn, and one of the girls that's staying there apparently used the outdoor shower. If you don't know what an outdoor shower is, you're poor. Moving on.
Yeah, you're not rich enough for an outdoor shower. If you have to ask what it is, you can't afford it.
Listen, they like to rinse off after they go to the beach. Anyway, so she left all her clothes hanging over the top of the outdoor shower, you know, because it's got like 3 walls,
sure.
blah, blah, blah. And then when I came around the corner, there was a pristine set of white panties on the ground.
Wow.
What do? I don't want to touch some random girl's panties, but I got a mow over there, and they're going to get dirty, or I'm going to catch them in the mower.
You could just mow them.
Or I'm going to weed whack them to death.
To create situations.
I thought that would be kind of mean. So what did I do? I picked him up, and I wore him as a hat for the rest of the day. No, I didn't do that. I just picked him up.
You should have done that. Stick with that story.
I just picked him up, and I put him back where they belong. But it seemed like a pretty funny ecchi trope.
This is why you'll never write to Penthouse.
Dear Penthouse. Nobody even knows what we're talking about. Like the Dear Penthouse
Someone
thing
knows.
is like so 80s.
Someone knows, damn it.
Penthouse Forum, son.
If you don't know, now you know. Not saying the rest of that. All right.
I'm pretty sure nobody actually wrote into Penthouse. I'm pretty sure like paid writers just wrote stories.
I'm sure. Much better gig than the crap you'd write nowadays.
And then they make you like regret that you don't have such an awesome sex life, even though nobody actually does.
Yeah. Anyway,
moving right along today. Speaking of, it's not even ecchi. It's like mostly,
it's almost hentai.
It's as close to hentai as you can
almost.
get without being hentai. Come on, they put like some like gray magic marker over the dicks.
They barely even did that half the time. Violence Jack is what we're talking about here.
Violence
From
Jack,
Uncle Go.
Evil Town, like the most notorious of Violence Jack. We rarely talk about anything that's not animated, but there's been some good shit out lately, so we're gonna talk about that. I watched a couple episodes of shit this week, and as usual, the news.
Heck yeah. All right. Fair bit of news. Might go quick, though. All right. So, first things first. Macross. So, as we've talked about a bunch of times, Macross is starting to finally make its way out in the West in official releases again. Now that Big West
goddamn time
it's all being less stupid with Harmony Gold, Big West, whatever. So, Udon Entertainment, who actually publishes a lot of good art books, is going to publish a Macross art book outside of Japan.
That is the only thing I miss about conventions is like
I know.
digging through ancient art books. Fucking love it.
So this is Hidetaka Tenjin's Macross-related work. It's Artistry of Macross from Flashback 2012 to Macross Frontier, and it covers everything from Macross, all the original, all the way through to Macross Frontier. So all the good stuff plus Macross 7. Hey-o.
Hey-o.
If you haven't seen his art, it's fucking awesome. It is awesome. His
it is
artwork
really, really good.
So goddamn cool. I've used it as screensavers for years.
Me too. I think I have one on right now, actually.
Yeah, very goddamn cool. So yeah, take a look. This is supposed to be out October 18th here in the West. You know, when it comes out, I'm buying a copy for sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
It is freaking cool.
I have shelves and shelves of art books. If I didn't buy one, it'd be criminal.
Yeah. Really good artwork. So yeah, check that out when it comes out. Udon will publish it middle of October.
Boom.
Moving on. All right. Here we got just a little bit of USA Yatsura news, and I don't think we covered this last time, but it's going to run for a full half year. No breaks.
Nice.
When it first starts. So very old school. You're going to get your 24 to 26 episodes in a row. I've been looking forward to this.
I miss that.
Yeah, I do too.
Like where you can really dig into a series. I mean, you can get some work done 12 episodes, but it's not serious business unless you plan on doing 26.
Yeah. Yeah. So here it is. It's going to be out this year. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm very excited.
I know they'll do it justice.
Do we have a start date for this thing yet? I want to say it's in the fall. Regardless,
they're not going to do it over the summer.
Yeah.
They put all the good shit out in the fall and winter.
So, anyway.
When your ass is stuck inside.
Really excited for this. Yoshiritsu is some crazy bullshit. And, I mean, it's Rumiko Takahashi, man. It's Ramen 1/2. It's Inuyasha, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, you can't lose.
I mean, good God. Woman's made so much goddamn money. Anyway, be sure to check it out, but just a little bit of news there on it. All right, so got some more news here on Gundam, Witch from Mercury. Again, kind of a little bit of news, just that it will be simulcast, which everyone expected in the West. So, when same day date in Japan, same day date here, you won't have to wait, which, I mean, I think for a show that big, you kind of expected it. But
they have no excuse anymore. It's like so easy to simulcast.
Yeah, nice to have confirmation. That's going to be out in the fall. The prologue, I believe, debuted at Anime Expo and around that time. I got to see if it's available online because I think it debuted a couple other ways. So if it's around, definitely check it out.
I'm sure we can hunt it down somewhere.
Well, unless it was just, I don't want to watch a camera, but if it's actually available, I definitely want to check it out. San Diego Comic-Con is where they announced it. Sorry, not
Anime Expo.
Yeah, Anime Expo. Yeah. So anyway, looking forward to it. We're gonna see. I really want to see that prequel just to get a feel for it. Like the trailer looked pretty good, but you never goddamn know. So all right, moving on. This bit of news I wasn't expecting. So, new Patlabor coming out. Patlabor Easy Y. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. It looks like it's
Is it animated?
Izubuchi's directing it. It looks like it's
oh man.
It looks like it's CG.
I don't care. I'm fucking
I'm only
excited.
looking at the poster here.
I would
posters.
I would slay 1,000 babies for more Patlabor.
And there's a TV series too. So there's so there's the video, which is pilot, which is Izubuchi, and then the TV series is going to be directed by Taro Maki.
That's fine.
He did Patlabor, the Mobile Police,
yeah, no, I'm
the Kitable,
100% down
Actress,
with that.
yeah.
That sounds amazing. God, I can't wait. Man, there's like more than 3 things to look forward to. I can't even believe it. It's probably going to be a couple of years, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what this is going to look like. I didn't really have time to look into exactly what this is going to be, but man, I'm excited for more Patlabor.
Hell yes.
I love me some Patlabor for sure.
It's one of my all-time faves, really.
So it looks like I got a little link here. Wow. It got announced in 2017.
No shit.
Oh, no wonder I freaking never heard about it.
Huh.
Very, very.
Oh, that means it's probably been in production for ages.
Yeah.
Which means we won't have to wait like 27 years to get it. Hopefully.
Special Vehicle Section 2, as it should be.
Who else? Man, you got to troll Section 1.
Yeah, I have no idea. I honestly have no idea what this is going to look like. We're going to find out together, and it's going to be fucking good, whatever it is.
I can't fucking wait. Everybody who needs to be working on it is working on it, so I'm down.
That's why I say it'll be good.
100%.
I'm having faith.
Oh, I love wacky Patlabor. It's just fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
It gets serious when it needs to, but it's just mostly fun.
This is why we all wish Oshi did more things that were wacky and wasn't so goddamn serious all the time.
I can see why. I mean, you can't get too into politics, man. It's just a giant black pill.
Oh, especially Japanese politics. Woo. Those have been dank for years.
Right.
If anybody's watched Ghost in the Shell, you already know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the diet. All right, moving on.
How many times has the diet building been blown up in anime? In
a lot of times.
10,000 times.
So you better be prepared for a Netflix animated series about the adventures of a fighting bear. I mean, that's what I hope it's about anyway. There's a Tekken anime coming out. And boy, is that bear on the front.
Better
I
be.
see him. I see him. So
love
I
it.
really hope the whole series is really about the bear kicking everybody's ass because that bear is awesome.
If we're lucky.
Tekken Bloodline, August 18th. No clue whether it will be good or not. You know, Netflix's animated stuff, man, it's kind of coin flip sometimes. Sometimes it's very good.
Oh,
Sometimes it's
Dota's
garbage.
getting a second season, by the way. I don't know if we ever mentioned that.
Yeah.
Dragons, whatever.
A second full. You mean like a... Because was that part 2 of the first season? Whatever. There's more Dota.
No, but they're doing more. That's
Yeah.
You remember when like the giant like animation purge happened and basically nothing worth a shit got canceled.
No,
like
I
they're still
know.
doing everything that's good. So I'm happy. That's all because that was actually really good and I wanted more.
Yeah, I'm excited. So this is going to be coming out, I want to say, what did I say, August? It's pretty soon, August 18th, yeah. So
Nice.
won't be all that long. You'll be able to check it out. And, you know, hey, maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't. Fighting game franchise adaptations have shaky histories, so...
God, there's so much Baki I still haven't caught up on.
You know, we'll find out. I hope the animation's better than friggin' Baki, but...
Listen. Have you ever like seen the Baki manga?
Listen,
That guy's art style is just atrocious.
the art style isn't the problem, it's the animation. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Listen.
Well, the art style is a problem, but that's a different problem.
They don't spend money on shit because they don't have any.
Well, sometimes money gets spent on it because it's probably co-funded by Japan, but whatever. Anyway,
Yeah, that's true.
moving on.
That's the kind of thing Japan would have cheaped out on because they know they'd make money on it anyway.
Yeah.
You remember the fucking the Berserk one? It
Oh,
was like,
don't no.
"Grr."
No.
I watched it anyway, like a sucker. But
No. I don't
listen,
wanna
I
hear
watched Fist of the Blue Sky, which was like some of the worst animation I've seen in my life ever.
about it. Really fucking
I was
bad.
just starving for that shit.
Really fucking bad.
There's no excuse. Anything that's like, just spend money on it. If it's Fist of the North Star related, spend money on it.
Well, the problem is they should have just fucking let Studio David remake Fist of the North Star, and then you'd have the interest. Because who isn't gonna like Fist of the North Star? Whatever.
God, all I want is for them to
Dumb.
do just the manga.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing.
It would be nice.
That would just like, it'd be the greatest thing ever.
It would
The
be
greatest thing that ever happened in the history of time.
nice. Anyway, talking about more things that Netflix is ruining.
No.
There's a bunch of character posters up for Yu Yu Hakusho.
It's funny because the director, like the Japanese director, was like, "You can't do that live action." That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's kind of true.
I mean, the casting doesn't look terrible. I mean, thank God it's at least a series where everybody is supposed to be Japanese,
Yes.
right? So, you know, that works. Whereas, you know, it's not like when they Full Metal Alchemist did and you're like, hey, man, those guys are German. Or fake German anyway. But yeah, Kuwabara is the only one so far. Like, he looks like a punk, but he looks way too skinny. Kuwabara needs to be more
Kuwabara's
like...
beefcake, son.
And he needs to be more like cauliflower ear, broken nose, like...
Yeah, he's beefy and he's just like big and lanky, and he's got like a big frame compared to the rest of them.
This is too much for a pretty boy. Shuhei Usugi.
That's my only bitch when they do stuff with Japanese actors. They always look too girly. No offense to anyone.
No, they
but-
do that intentionally. It's not because
I mean,
they're
there's
Japanese.
plenty of like super manly
Yeah.
Japanese actors.
It's not because they're Japanese. I think it's the same problem we have in the West, where like, you know, a guy like Charles Bronson he wouldn't get jobs today. Like,
Nah, he's like 5 feet.
you know what I
tall.
mean? Everybody's got to be a pretty boy. So, yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. Anyway, you can go check those out.
Anyway, not everything has to be like K-pop cuties.
Yeah, the 4 main characters are all. There's posters for all of them. At least Kurama looks like a girl because Kurama probably should look like a girl.
Yeah, kind of.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
That's a thing Japan would have done anyway.
Oh yeah.
Like without they do that
No.
shit all the time.
I don't get the feeling that this will be woke at all.
Oh, God,
I
no.
think it'll just be.
I think Japan's doing all of it. Like,
Yeah, I
Netflix
think it'll
is
be
just paying money.
It'll just be the usual, you know, kind of hokey Japanese adaptation that's just not great. I think only Kenshin could transcend.
That's literally the only good one.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone could burn me with another one that's good, but like that's the only one I.
That's
because
because they cast Deno.
They really did.
That was the way to do it.
Deno and that guy that played the fuck's his name?
Saito Hajime.
Yes, Saito
that was
was
great.
really good too. Yeah, they got like real actors that didn't look like K-pop stars.
Yeah, no, it was good. Well, and Kenshin should look a little bit like a kid.
And it was
so.
3 movies. It was epic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Even Unky Mark. liked him.
my
He
only
hates everything.
my only bitch is they made Sano way too wacky.
Yeah.
and not as much of a threat as he should have been.
Yeah, he was not really wacky. He was just a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
Mess you up.
That was a bit of a shame, but it's a minor quibble. Anyway, moving on. Hey, if you got $1,200 lying around and you really like Fullmetal Alchemist,
Kind of do.
you can buy a Fullmetal Alchemist replica Alphonse helmet that you could literally kill people with because it weighs 11 kilos,
Holy shit.
which is what, 22-ish,
Yeah, it's fucking
24-ish
heavy.
pounds. Like,
My Viking helmet doesn't even weigh, like, that's maybe 15 pounds.
it's a beast. So, looks pretty cool. Looks like you could wear it. It comes in an awesome box. It's pretty freaking crazy. I don't know that you're going to want to spend $1,200 on it, but
It's just going to sit on a shelf. Unless they, like, want to give me armor.
yeah, that's right.
Like
Give me the rest
entire
of it.
thing.
But then how are you going to be able to wear it? Like, you know how wide you have to be to wear that fucking armor? I mean, secret fat boy cosplay, but
Listen, son, I can eat. I'm just going to sit in and eat till I get fat enough to fill it up.
it's like being a space marine, man. Your shoulders aren't even wide enough. You'd have to like crack them open.
No, I'm good.
Anyway.
You know I'm too cheap to pay $1,200 for that.
Anyway, if you're checking it out and you want to buy a $1,200 freaking Alphonse helmet that weighs enough to, again, kill all your enemies, go to Castern, C-A-S, or Castem, C-A-S-T-E-M on eBay. Check it out.
This is on America. He's going to have to get shipped from Japan because that's going to cost a fucking fortune.
Shh, don't tell them that.
Because that's like another
All right.
like $200 right there.
Moving on. So we're going to talk about the only cool thing in Los Angeles. Because there ain't really anything cool about
I can't
Los
even
Angeles right
think
now.
of anything.
Some of their trains have been painted in Demon Slayer motifs.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah. It's
So
kinda
that's
cool.
pretty cool. Not something you see in the West that often. Something you see in Japan all the time. So
It's true.
if you are unfortunate enough to be stuck in LA for any reason, go check them out. And then, watch your ass because you'll probably get shot.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
I mean, it probably won't, but okay.
Nah, I was told it would be fine.
We're going to move on.
Gavin Newsom says if you really want to be free, you need to go to California. You need to get your ass to California because they're 100% freedom town.
So the A Beer Bug of Unknown Origin has completely obliterated the tour of Scandal Rock Band. So they had a bunch of shows: Chicago, Vancouver, Seattle, Anaheim, Dallas. They canceled all of them. The entire end of the thing because 3 of them got coofed.
Why do they even test?
I don't even know if they're sick. And if they are, like, well, you can't like wait a week and then get some of your shows in. They're just like, nope, can't do it.
It absolutely blows my mind that it's like it hasn't been a thing in the real world for, what, a year?
Yeah, people like to pretend
That no one
they
has
like to
cared.
LARP.
Literally no one has cared. But they still have to keep doing this thing where they're like canceling shows. They won't go here. Like,
It's just showing the rot in that industry. So anyway, apologies if you were one
actually, if they're actually sick, then I get that.
Oh yeah,
'Cause I was
absolutely.
down
You
for,
can't
like-
you
I was
can't
down for,
perform
like,
with
a
that
month.
shit. Yeah.
But if they're just testing and canceling them because that's the thing, that's fucking stupid.
Regardless, if you're a Scandal Rock Band fan, which I know there's 5 of you out there, it's a shame.
If they were touring over here, they could at least fill up a club.
Yeah, no, they're probably a lot more popular than I realized, so I'll shut up now. And Baby Metal's pretty good, so. Moving on. So the commies have co-opted Pikachu.
Of course they have. The commies co-opt everything.
So the just a random politician for the Japanese Communist Party in his campaign has a fake Pikachu as his sidekick. And it's, a guy in a ridiculous, like, Pikachu costume. Like an inflatable one, not even a fuzzy one.
That they bought from China.
Oh, absolutely. Over the internet, of course. Fuck the commies for stealing Pikachu, though.
That's fake Pikachu. It's Kamichu.
Still, no shame. No shame. Just like a freaking communist would. So
They'll co-opt anything
Anyway.
to get their master plan
if
going.
if you were wondering if there's anything the commies can't ruin, it's correct. There's nothing they cannot ruin.
They never ruin it
look
hard
at-
enough, though.
Look at this picture of Detective Pikachu. What a good movie.
That was a strangely good movie.
It was a good movie.
Good on them for just making a movie.
Hell
That was
yeah.
like the height of Shit Town, too. I was amazed that it was like kind of untouched.
Yeah. It really was. Man, Nintendo will not let you fuck with their IPs.
There was not one trans
they will
person
not
anywhere.
let you fuck with their IPs. You're not getting trans Mario Brothers anytime
You know what's
soon.
interesting about trans people in movies? If they're really trans people, you couldn't even tell.
Correct.
Dun, dun, dun.
Correct. No, you got to make a thing out of it. All right. Moving on to the last bit of news that has left Twitter reeing once again. And so salty. It's just so salty. Anime Matsuri
Am I going to have to get a dump
teaming
truck?
with everyone's favorite creeper, Vic Mignogna. Because as we've discussed here, hey, man, he may not be guilty of some of those things he talked about, but...
Listen, I don't firsthand know anything about the lawsuit or the voice actor shit.
He certainly got, like, Whisper networked out. That was some bullshit.
So that's bullshit. But I also know from years of going to conventions that he gets super handsy when he's taking pictures with girls, super underage girls. Just saying.
Anyway. So, Vic here has, like I said, teamed with the Anime Matsuri folks. You know, he was one of the biggest voice actors in all anime.
He's damn good at it.
And he was damn good at it. Probably still is damn good at it. So, yeah, they're going to be, dubbing anime. And so Anime Matsuri expanding their empire. Good to see because they're one of the only cons that actually is worth a damn anymore and doesn't,
I'm curious what their
enforce all the
business model
bullshit.
is. Like, who are they going to work with?
I don't know. It looks like they might be licensing their own stuff because the stuff I'm seeing here is very, like...
Niche.
Yeah, very niche.
Niche.
Which is fine. So, yeah. Check it out. Go make, Twitter weirdos seethe. As much as... yeah, I don't know. I'll keep my Vic Mignogna thoughts to myself.
Yeah,
I witnessed
I have a lot of mixed feelings on that.
I witnessed what you witnessed, but he didn't deserve what he got because it wasn't really... It was Whisper Network bullshit. Someone probably knew he had that little bit of reputation, and they just used it as a fucking lever.
I'm not saying the guy should have lost his job.
I hate that shit.
I also wouldn't want my daughter anywhere near with him.
Yeah, he's not Bill Cosby. Let's leave
listen.
it at that.
Talk to any old guy who went to a lot of anime conventions between 2005 and 2012, and they will have a Vic Mignogna doing something creepy story. Guaranteed. So. That's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. That's it.
That's it? No more news?
Out with a whimper. That's it. I know. It felt like the news would go on forever. It's not going on forever. It is officially over.
Okay. Let me get my screen up.
So you can talk about
so I can remember all the things I
Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, maybe some Amaim.
We're going to start with Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer.
There you go.
Pretty much following the manga so far. The animation isn't nearly as bad as everybody said. I heard reading about this for fucking months and months and months. Everything's washed out in a weird sunset orange.
Yeah.
I think that's just a design choice. I don't really think they fucked anything
Is
up.
it washed out like colored pages in a manga?
It's just everything's kind of orangey.
Oh.
Not even orange, everything's got a weird sepia cast to it.
Okay.
It's just odd. All the backgrounds are sunset. No idea why. Anyway, that's my only real complaint. I mean, the story is so weird, but it works. Basically once he finds out Semidare is the princess, after all his bitching and whining in the first... Yeah, because the first episode was hero's journey, I don't want anything to do with it, blah, 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 blah. But once, she gives her, the world's mine, so I'll crush it when I feel like it. I'm not going to let this hammer crush it, speech. He, swears fealty to her instantly. And he's got, there's this weird, side story with his grandfather. Because he was, kind of, raised by his grandfather a little bit. And his grandfather was just, hated people. He's just, never make any friends, never make any enemies, just, live your life alone. And he's just... But now he's, having fun with Semidare. So he's just oh, man, fuck off, Grandpa. But, in this episode, he finds out his grandpa's real sick, and he, doesn't want to go see him. But then Semidare's just get your ass over there. He's like, you better command me to do it because I won't do it otherwise. And she's like, you better fucking do it. I'm not going to command you, but you better get your ass there. Anyway, I like the dynamic that she's like a beast and he's like just trying to like bust out of his shell. I don't know. It's good. That's why the manga was so popular.
Yeah.
So a good episode.
Yeah, definitely a series I'm going to check out.
Yeah, like first episode's a little slow because they have to squeeze all him throwing that poor lizard across the room because he doesn't want to like be involved with it. But yeah, no, good second episode. And then I think the only other thing I watched an episode of was the vampire one, Call of the Night. See, I remember this time. It's like it gets more Monogatari all the time because like she, just the way she like the vampire chick, Nanakusa, she phrases shit like they make normal things sound dirty all the time, much like they did in Monogatari.
That's very Monogatari.
Like she always uses the word copulate because like whenever she's talking, because like to them drinking blood is like a mixture of eating and having sex. It's like the greatest thing ever. And what the fuck's his name? Nizuna. Oh no, sorry, not Nizuna. Ko, he's the like main kid.
Yep.
That like can't sleep and finds a vampire. But whenever like they're talking, because like in order for him to become a vampire, he has to fall in love with her. So like whenever she's talking, she like talks wicked dirty about drinking blood and sex and all that. But like the minute he'll have some like wholesome relationship stuff, it's like we should get to know each other. Like, what are your favorite movies? Blah blah. And she gets like all super embarrassed because like she's just like not comfortable with that because she's never like done anything except eat humans.
Yeah. There's a
good episode.
It's a good allegory there.
Yeah, good character development. Like I said, it's got really that like tight Monogatari feel. So I have high hopes for it. That's on High Dive, by the way. If you don't have High Dive yet, it's actually got a bunch of shit. It's got all the
because High Dive. That's what Lupin was on.
That's what Lupin was on. That's what Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon is on. So
this year, yeah.
It's worth
because all the older stuff's on Crunchy.
Yeah, now it's like I think every season is on there now.
Oh, good.
At any rate. So anyway, that's what I watched this week. I haven't caught up on anything else.
I thought you said you finished.
Amaim. I almost forgot because it was so forgettable.
Yeah, I tried. I told you earlier, I tried to finish it. I really wanted to. I'm just like, the show isn't good anymore. Like they ruined the main character, and he was one of the only things that was like keeping me going because I liked him a lot, and it was just like,
they just kind of muffed out on a lot of stuff. Like, they wasted a lot of time, and then, like, literally the last episode, they, like, clear up all that shit. Fucking, what was his name? The evil guy.
Which evil guy?
The
American Captain?
American Captain, yeah. He had a regular name, like
he had a dumbass
Dave
name.
or
I don't remember. This series is so forgettable. I'm not going to look it up. I don't care.
Let's call him Bill.
Captain Bill. His name actually might be Bill.
It was something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, like at the end, they figure out that his dad was evil, and he was just doing.
Well, his dad was evil the whole time.
Yeah, but he
was also doing back
he like
ends.
knew, so he was just trying to like. He basically went out there because he knew he was going to get beat, and he wanted to just blow up the ghost so his dad couldn't use it. And he felt great Japanese shame, even though he's an American character, and he had to blow himself up.
He was quite the weeb.
Yeah, he's quite the weeb. But basically, they get their own. They get their own Japanese section of Japan back. They leave it open to get do more, but I doubt they will.
Yeah.
It got all of the funding that Sunrise shows get, but it just had none of the pizzazz. They kind of steadily, those shows, like that template of a show, got steadily worse. Towards the end.
Not enough characters.
Nah.
Not enough no good side characters at all.
No,
that was the real problem.
That was the killer, yeah.
No good side characters. The third pilot was forgettable. Like, who are you? Like, random girl? Like, whatever.
The chick, yeah.
And the AI was just annoying.
They didn't flush enough. There's very little character development for anybody.
No.
They had way too much other crap they crammed in there, but they didn't spend enough time early on in character development. And then towards the end, it was a bunch of shit I just didn't care about. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, they completely changed the main character's personality because the place he was at got attacked and some people he died. I could see some personality shifts, but just becoming a weird, mopey weirdo was not one of them.
Yeah, like until like this last episode or second to last episode.
No.
That's not what people
I was
do.
done.
Listen, if somebody attacks like some place I'm at and there's little kids around, and then I like shoot that person, and the little kids are like scared because I shot a person that was going to kill them, I'm not going to feel bad about it.
No.
Like, that's just not a thing humans feel. Sorry. Maybe if you're a weirdo, I guess, but you know, you do what you got to do, and that kid will understand when they're like 12 or something. You know
it was
I mean?
just dumb.
You got to grow up a little bit at some point.
It was dumb. Yeah, no, not going to finish it. Don't care. I almost watched 86 instead. I probably should have, so I will. Next will be 86.
86 is so fucking good.
Yeah, next will be 86, but
savage.
It's a shame, though, because I like a good generic Sunrise series. I figured it'd be like a good, low level, but man, listen, it's not as bad as that. What the hell was that one? The Flowers one, that anniversary one. That wasn't Sunrise, but.
Oh, shit.
God, that show was fucking terrible.
God, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's like a year or two ago.
Yeah, it's the one where, like, they, like, nothing happened and they accomplished nothing.
And they killed, like, every main
character.
character.
It's The Price of Smiles.
The Price of Smiles.
Yes, they, like, just killed everybody.
Don't watch it.
Nobody
Don't ever
wins.
watch it.
It's just
fucking
like,
terrible.
What is this fucking trash fire? It was
had nihilistic garbage.
Yeah, it had no point and it was trash. Like, I don't want to see the main character get their shit pushed in, like, every episode. Like, you're supposed to, like... that's why the shonen model is perfect. Like, you're supposed to get your shit pushed in hard, like, to make it epic when you come back and fucking destroy.
Make things happen.
When Kenshiro makes your head explode.
All right. So let's move on. Let's move on to next.
Let's move on to some live action
Next
business.
thing called The Terminal List. So this also sent Twitter into a tizzy. Like, and critics rated it very poorly just because, it's Chris Pratt. Misogyny. Like,
why is it misogyny?
Oh my fucking God. It's a very basic, kind of straightforward. There's some intrigue, but straightforward, like, thriller, 80s action movie combo series, right? That's what it is. And yeah, it's got Chris Pratt. And you know what? This is the best goddamn Chris Pratt acting I've ever seen.
Because he's actually acting. He's not playing himself.
He's not just playing Andy, Andy in space.
Right.
Andy who's a cowboy. Like,
right.
He's not playing that same character. He is playing a different character.
Plus, this was based on books written by an actual Navy SEAL.
Yeah. And he wanted Chris Pratt to play the character.
Yeah,
and
literally,
now he's doing it.
like, he was being interviewed at some point, and he's like, no, like, when I was writing these books, like, the person, like, the character in my mind was Chris Pratt. And he just through happenstance, like, met Chris Pratt. And he, like...
hunting or something.
Yeah, he put it out there, and he's like, Chris Pratt's like, fuck yes. And he just did it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of amazing.
And, yeah, what do critics know? Because it's the #1 series on Amazon.
It's fucking good, man.
Not just now, but I mean, like, I think it's already surpassed Reacher, which was, like, the #1 before. And No Rings of Power is not going to beat either of them because, good God, what a trash fire.
I don't even think Normie's going to like that.
No.
Because it just looks...
Someone I was talking to the other day
slapped together.
Was excited. I'm like, no. And everyone else at the table was like, no, no. And I was like, look, I know you don't watch animated stuff, but the animated one that's coming out is going to be fucking good. 'Cause it's all about Hammerhand. It's going to be awesome.
If you watch any of those trailers, it just looks cheap. It looks like
it looks like CW.
It looks like a bunch of kids at a convention, like cosplaying.
I just said CW. Why would you repeat me? Because that's what CW
Must
is,
I repeat
right?
myself?
Supernatural was the only show where they covered that up. They papered it over well enough. Like all those other shows, man, it just looks like
Oh God, how many times did they redo that hotel room? Right, like 1,000.
It's so hilarious. Anyway,
it's always slightly different.
Terminal List. Only watched the first 3 episodes so far. The first episode is dark. Oh Jesus,
it's
fuck,
savage.
Is it dark?
No, the first 2 episodes because it gets even worse in the second
like
episode.
if you thought John Wick was bad, it's darker.
Brutal.
Like, holy shit! But then it goes on, and it's not just a straight revenge plot. There's more intrigue going on. There's more intelligent stuff going on. There's Navy SEAL shit going on. By the way, if you're ever gonna become an assassin, don't wear wraparound Oakleys, man. You'll get made in a heartbeat. They'll know. You're like, that guy used to be an operator and just come to kill me.
That is the best joke ever. Like
So
a guy
good.
with a ball cap, like a kind of short beard, and wraparound Oakleys. Like
Immediately, like that guy's an assassin.
so good.
But it's excellent. Chris Pratt does a fucking awesome job. Like, actually acting.
Yeah,
he
no, he
crushes
actually
it. Like
has chops, man.
really good.
Very believable.
Can't recommend it highly enough. And only 3 episodes into, I think there's 8 in the first season. But fucking check that shit out. Like Reacher was good. Like right now on Amazon's such a weird studio, man. Half their shit's awesome, half their shit isn't. But
It's either the best or the worst. Like there's no in between, really.
But Reacher and The Terminal List, freaking awesome.
I can't recommend them enough.
Yeah, check them out. Check them out for sure. Anything else you want to say about Terminal List before we move on?
I can't wait to watch the next episode.
Yeah, fuck yes.
That's about it.
Talk faster. We wrap this up. All right. So another thing. This is Netflix, not Amazon, but Stranger Things. So everybody knows what Stranger Things is. I've watched every season. You've watched every season, right?
I have.
And the first season was excellent. It was fresh. It was kind of new.
It was
great.
Self-contained.
It was
really
an 80s thing that wasn't just sucking 80s dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't like dick ride in the 80s.
It actually, one of the only things where it was an 80s thing, it actually looked like the goddamn 80s.
It really did.
Because they screw that up all the time.
It was very nostalgic, actually.
Because it had that dank, like late 70s hangover
Just
look.
the clothes, the bicycles.
The nasty carpets, the wood panel walls.
All that shit from when I was a kid. God, my parents' house had that till like...
Oh, so did mine. Like everybody's did.
Well into like the 2000s.
But yeah, everything looked like it should look, right? Such a great show. Like, yeah, I get it. It's hyped and people don't like shit that's overhyped. But the first season of Stranger Things is fantastic.
The second season, however.
Second season and third season, like...
kind of mediocre.
I didn't hate them. They weren't bad. It never went woke. It was just, meh, they're kind of there.
They exist.
They're okay.
They were fun.
Like, if you're going to watch up to the 4th season, I would say start from
you
the
kind
beginning
of
and watch it all.
Yeah.
You kind of have to, too, because it does a lot. Yeah, it references back. And I appreciated in the 3rd season bringing the Soviets in and having that whole angle. Even though the 3rd season wasn't fantastic, that whole angle was cool.
Well, the 4th season was the payoff. So.
And the 4th season was the payoff, right? So then you get to the 4th season, and you're like, okay, you know what? These last 2 seasons have been okay. I guess this will be okay.
I wasn't even going to watch it, but then...
Everybody keeps saying
everybody was on about it.
This is fucking great.
Fuck it.
This is great. It's like, okay. But it just looks like a ripoff of Freddy Krueger. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Right.
But you know what? It is, but it isn't. And you know what? Good on them for getting Robert Englund in the one episode.
Oh, hell yeah. That was awesome.
That was awesome, right? But yeah, look, these episodes are long. There's a bunch of there's 9 episodes.
If you math it out, it's like literally 2 seasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a bunch of 1.5-hour episodes, and then the last episode's 2.5.
Yeah, it's like a ridiculous mega movie.
It's clear now. So they announced the other day, the Duffer Brothers, that they're doing like their own horror studio. Obvious that they got hands-on this one to make sure they were kind of showing everybody, potential investors, that no, we still got it.
Oh yeah, no, and we still
got it. And they did. They wrote and directed a lot of these episodes. I think they were a little too hands-off in season 2, season 3, which probably caused the issues. Excellent, just excellent. Good plot.
It ties up
and
tons of shit for the 2nd and 3rd season.
And hard to do, right? Because you had the fantastical bullshit with like getting Hopper back from Russia.
Yeah.
Which isn't, by the way, if anybody thinks that's a spoiler from season 3, you didn't watch after the goddamn credits in season 3, so shame on you.
Yeah, right.
Because that was obvious. So getting Hopper back from Russia, that's the wacky plot. You got Murray, the crazy conspiracy theory guy.
Murray is my favorite character forever.
He's great. You got the wacky Russian Yuri, who's a total asshole, but then redeems himself eventually. You got Howard Stark. I mean, the Russian prison guard, played by the guy who played Howard Stark.
Yep.
But he's got an interesting story. They didn't flesh him out quite enough, I don't think.
Nah, I could have used a little bit more backstory.
But you know what? It's fine, because he's just a side character. And there's going to be time later, because I'm pretty sure he comes back with them. So
I think he does, yeah.
He'll be in the U.S. next time. So Winona Ryder and him, they're all out there, right? And then you had the kids are in 2 groups, right? There's the ones that are still in Hawkins, Indiana, and then there's the ones that are out in L.A. because they got the hell out of town because, Hawkins obviously has a lot of issues.
Yep.
So, 11. So Winona Ryder, whose character's name, what is her name? I can never remember her name. They never say it. Winona Ryder, freaking 11. Not Mike, because he stays behind. No, yeah, Mike.
Yeah, Mike goes.
Yeah.
No. He stays behind.
No, Mike stays behind.
Because he goes and visits her later.
Will,
yeah.
Yeah, because the whole family goes, right? Will and Jonathan, the brother, right?
Yep.
So they're all out there. And then Jonathan's friends with, like, the the Indian kid,
The fucking awesome stoner
the
dude.
American kid or Hawaiian kid. I can't quite tell, but
They crush,
he's hilarious. He's
they
great.
crush side characters so hard.
Yes, they get that right.
Like, they're so smart because that is like what makes a good show.
The
is
stoner
side
pizza delivery
characters.
guy,
Yeah,
like he's great.
So
great
funny.
fucking character.
And he's like good. He's not completely retarded. He's like actually good at stuff.
And they pop in on Susie.
Oh yeah, what's his face? His girlfriend.
Yeah.
Which is fucking funny.
From the last season, which good callback, right? And she's Mormon, so there's 8 million kids in the house, and
I don't know what happened to her mother, but like only their dad is around.
oh my god,
And like
it's
the
madness.
older kids just manage the younger kids, and it's just pandemonium.
It's pandemonium. So that's a good storyline. So they, they're out there, and then
Listen, they need some 80s computer hacking.
it's shit's getting real for the Hawkins kids, right? So they're, there's that high school angst stuff, and then there's also, there's some evil shit going on again, and there's people getting killed in the most horrific way. Like when they get killed in the dream, in the upside down, basically, they get sucked into the upside down. They freaking they get all their bones broken.
Yes, all
and
their
jaw dislocated.
all
they
their
get
large
flopped.
bones just get snapped. It's a fucking mess.
It's really nasty. And the CG is pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
It's good enough.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
pretty
it was
good.
never distracting.
No, not at all. And man, you got there's a satanic panic theme that goes on.
That is
with the
really
jock
good
kids.
because people deny that was a thing in the 80s, and that was like
Totally
a
a
super
thing.
serious thing in the 80s. Like D&D got shit on hard.
Yeah, and then you have Eddie, everybody's favorite character, Eddie, who he's the D&D guy. He's the metal kid. He plays Master of Puppets. Everybody's on about it. Good character.
I think it needed a little more backstory.
I would have liked to have seen a little more. You get enough flavor, but the season was already so bloated to begin with. Again, Stranger Things has the opposite problem. It almost has too many characters.
I would have
And apparently Millie Bobby Brown was bitching about that. She's like, "You don't kill anybody. Kill more people. There's too many characters. Kill me." Like, this is ridiculous.
it is ridiculous.
And they're just like, "Man, we don't want to kill people." Like,
As much as
gotta
I
make sense.
liked the Russia stuff, that didn't need to exist at all.
no, that was a side plot. Like,
It was cool, but you could have hacked out all
You
that
coulda
stuff
just
and it
had-
wouldn't have mattered at all.
you just could have had Hopper be there.
yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? And it would have been fine. It didn't add too much.
I mean, it was fun. It was super entertaining. I'm not bitching at all. It's just like if you wanted to cut down the ridiculous length of the episodes, you could have got rid of all
I
that
think
shit.
plot-wise, it was almost necessary just to drive 11 to go back to "quote-unquote" Papa,
Yeah.
right? The guy running the whole program with
You
the
had to have
psychics.
Hopper gone, basically.
And this does a good job of, you get to see the whole backstory with all the psychic kids, what happened. You get to see some of how the Upside Down got created. It's very the Warp, right?
Yeah.
It's very much the Warp.
Very Warhammer.
Very Warhammer in that regard. Because Warhammer is everything, because they stole everything, but it doesn't matter. They did it better in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's good, and the end is, holy shit, it's a ridiculous cliffhanger.
I didn't think with that much season that they could possibly just roll up on a cliffhanger because you figure they in how the fuck many it's like dozens of hours.
And it's a good kind of cliffhanger too, because I hate cliffhangers. Just like, I gotta know what happens.
Oh, no,
it's not that kind of cliffhanger. Like,
yeah.
they wrap up the story. You're not like, oh my god, is this person alive or dead or any of that? No. It's just, it is clear what the plot for the next season is going to be.
Yes.
It is clear there's a big problem that needs to be dealt with fucking immediately.
Yes, immediately.
And I like that. That was a good cliffhanger.
It's kind of good because it'll be direct into action in the next season.
Yeah.
Like they had no
I
fucking
think they know.
around.
And
at
the
all.
last season is supposed to be the last. And it should be. It should be. It's the kind of show where if you ever want to do more, it's like Gravity Falls. You don't just continue when you shouldn't. You do side stories. You do stuff 5 years in the future. You time skip. You know what I mean? Like, you do a complete side story with side characters. Like, that kind of shit would play. But you don't just keep going on with this main storyline. It's just, it's coming to its logical conclusion.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was really good. So if you were kind of mediocre on Stranger Things after, that second season or third season wasn't great, like I would say, you know what, it's worth it. Catch up and go watch season 4.
It's really good.
I think season 4 might be better than season 1.
Probably. They put so much effort into it.
Really, really good.
It's nice when I'm just happy when people give a shit. And clearly everyone involved gave a shit.
I hate that it makes Netflix money, but it was very good.
Netflix learned their lesson.
Yeah, did they?
They
They kind of are now because they're purging everybody.
I
but
fucking think they did. When you're like that close to bankruptcy and they're like,
I don't think
no
they
amount of
learned their
ESG
lesson.
money can save you.
I think they're in the process of learning their lesson.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to stop.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be on the skids for a while, and no amount of
The bad touch train has no brakes, sir.
I think they're on pace to lose like 2 million subscribers this quarter or something.
Yeah, it's going to be horrendous.
Savage.
Anyway.
And they're trying to do like fucking ads and shit.
Yeah, they keep trying to. It's not going to work. That's
not
the
gonna work,
sign
man.
of a dying company.
I fucking hate ads.
Yeah.
Hate them.
You and everybody else.
Hate them so much.
All right.
Anyway, it's time.
Are we going to move? Are we doing Violence Jack?
I don't know what else we
Are
would
we
do.
going to make it happen? All right, we're going to do it. I just don't know, man. Shit's intense.
It's not really that intense. Violence Jack was way more of a bro than I remember him being.
Yeah, Violence Jack is hilarious.
I watched that 20 years ago, and I'm sure I was absolutely shit-faced.
Yeah.
But he was way less of a dick. Like, he was actually the only character in the entire thing with any kind of, like, moral character.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway, Violence Jack. So, Violence Jack, manga from Go Nagai, ran from the 70s till 2008, apparently, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
So, tons of issues out there. So, they did 3 OVAs. I say in the 80s, but the last one was 1990, but close enough. And it's kind of like that Go-Go 13 anime where they just did a couple arcs here and there.
Yeah, it's like greatest hits.
They're all standalone. So we did Evil Town, which is the middle of the two and the most notorious. But there are other ones to check out.
It's certainly the rapiest and the most cannibalistic.
Evil Town's about an hour.
A little less.
Hell's Wind's about an hour, maybe a little less. And then the first one's shorter. It's like a little over half an hour. Harlem Bomber.
Ooh.
And we'll probably get back and review those other ones at some point. Probably not next week. I think we'll just stick with Uncle Go for a while, but we'll bounce around a little bit. There's like Re-Cutie Honey we want to look at. There's some other stuff, but
That's a good one.
yeah. Anyway, Violence Jack. So it's the future. So this
It's actually a really cool plot.
this set the post-apocalyptic look and tone that Mad Max has, that Fist of the North Star has.
Oh, absolutely.
I find it hard to believe that George Miller was not aware of Violence Jack with the look of Mad Max and especially the Road Warrior. How could you be like it's
You
the
watch
same thing?
You watch 2 minutes of it, and it's like the absolute.
They got the same aesthetic. It's the same idea, right? So this one's interesting because it's the future. There were like mad earthquakes that caused, the ruin of society. And these are people that were in Tokyo when the earthquakes happened. And they're part
of the city
town.
gets buried.
Yeah, just got buried. But it's like buried such that there's chambers. So it's, it's like all just an underground city now, basically.
Yeah.
Right? With the people that are left alive. And they're eating out of cans. There's bugs everywhere. They're eating bugs because there's no food. You can't grow food because you're fucking underground. You got power.
Yeah, they're all excited when they catch a rat.
Yeah, because and they can't. They're constantly trying to tunnel their way back to the surface because clearly they're eventually they're all gonna die if they can't get the hell out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
Before the food runs out, right? So, there's 3 blocks. There's A, B, and C, right? So, A is what is ostensibly kind of just the regular dudes that are just whatever. You find out later they're not quite so normal.
Yeah.
They're very rapey. And then you got B, which is like the fucking Mad Max gang area.
It's like Mad Gang.
With the very progressive trans character.
Yes. Dicks and boobs.
Yeah, that's right. All over the place. Not Bob's and Vagine, son. Bob's and Brats. You know what I'm saying? So you have that. And with the giant guy, like it's Fist of the North Star. The guy is like 8, 9, 10 feet tall.
Yeah,
He's fucking huge.
massive.
And he's gnarly looking, and as you would expect, all the leather.
Missing
So anyway,
out.
that's the gang, and they have their own code of honor, but they don't care.
They're assholes, yeah.
They're assholes to anybody outside, but they do have their own code of honor. And then you have Block C, which is all the girls. They were just like, hey, we're tired of getting touched upon and predated upon and raped upon.
We're sick of being brutally violated.
Yeah,
so
we're fucking out. We're going to our own area. Fuck off. Everybody can fuck off. Which, hey, fair enough, right? Like,
Yeah.
It was terrible. So, and you find that out later because they don't show up till like halfway through. So, anyway, the Block A folks, they're freaking, digging their way through, trying to get out of there.
One's a cop and he has a gun.
Well, yeah, one guy's a cop, and he's an asshole, and that's established pretty early that he's a piece of shit. he shoots a little kid. One of the first things he does is shoot a little kid because he stole some food.
Yeah.
Like, awful. Anyway, they're digging their way out, and they open up this chamber, and who's just sitting in a wall somewhere but Violence Jack? Looks ridiculous. Looks kind of like Devilman, and apparently in like one of the reboots, it was like it's basically what would happen if Omon had or the demon had, or is Omon the demon? Whatever, had taken over him instead of somebody. It's weird.
Oh, instead of whoever he took over.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched any of that.
Yeah. Regardless, he's got that Go Nagai, like Devilman kind of look.
Mad
He's also
sideburns.
He's also 10 to 12 feet tall for no particular reason.
Fucking gantic.
Like a giant Frankenstein. He's a dude, but he's just a dude, and he's got a giant folding knife that's like sword sized for a normal human.
Yeah,
but it looks
massive.
like a small little pocket knife.
Yeah, it's just weird.
It's fucking hilarious.
It's
Anyway,
jackknife, sir.
it is a jackknife. So they dig him up, and yeah, I don't know. They're like, hey, we'll feed you, and you can help us out. And he's like, whatever, sure. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. I don't even know how he's alive in the freaking hole in the wall, but don't ask questions.
He's clearly immortal.
Doesn't matter. So yeah, pretty
all
much.
Go Nagai characters are immortal.
It's ridiculous
in some way. That's just the way it
So
works.
he basically the plot progresses from there. There's not much of a plot. Like the B
Block
block
A has a beef with Block B.
Yeah, A and
so
B
they're like,
are gonna
ha
fight.
ha ha, we'll take Violence Jack with us because he
You have a
owns us
12-foot tall
one.
guy. We have a 12-foot tall guy. Like
Yeah, exactly.
we'll make it happen. But then like when they're having their big showdown, Block C shows up. They're like, hey, Violent Jack, we'll pay you if you protect us instead. And it's all the sexy ladies. He's like,
Yep.
sounds good to me.
Sign me up.
All right. So he fucks off to Block C. And then all hell breaks loose, right? Like Block
They
B,
tell their story about how Block A aren't like good.
Yeah,
they're not like solid
They're all
dudes.
super rapey, and that's why
They,
there's a
like,
Block C.
They waited about 5 minutes after the cave-in to like rape every woman in sight. So then, for whatever reason, they do it again.
Well, yeah, so Block B, it goes to attack, and then Block A goes to attack, right? Because they're all going to attack Block C. It doesn't have to make a lot of sense,
They all want
right?
the chicks, every single
Of
one
course. And Block B just, they want to, they're kind of smart in a way, because I think that part of their thing was they really wanted to, kill everybody because there's only limited resources. So
Yeah, I'd probably be in Block B.
yeah, and they probably, we all know Block B is into eating people, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
So anyway, what follows is some ridiculous shit. Violent Jack fights. You got a lot of hentai level rapey scenes. Like,
oh yeah, like ridiculous.
full frontal, like full penetration. You see everything. Like
They put like a little gray bar over it, but it's like
not
clear. So you
not
can
all the
see it.
time.
Not all the time, but
Not
most
all
of
the time. Like it's not like the pixelated side. No.
All the
sometimes-
dicks are like silhouettes. They're there.
pretty much.
They're like most.
Ah,
It's just
not
weird.
always.
It's like the most half-ass censoring you've ever seen.
yeah. It's basically just enough to keep it from being actual hentai.
Yes.
And then there's some hyper violence. I mean, blood, guts.
People get just slapped in half, and they're like.
Violent
organs
Jack
are
picks
everywhere.
up a woman and rips her in half
That
by the
bitch
legs
deserves it. She's so awful.
at some point. And that was, one of the evil women who was like, I hate kids, and was just killing kids.
yeah. Like,
One of the women from Block
Block
B,
B,
because
yeah.
Block B still had some women. And then I can't remember the name. It was a Star, the trans character.
what the fuck was his name?
She gets all rapey at some point.
Oh yeah.
With the main Block C character. It doesn't matter. None of these characters matter because it doesn't matter. It's only about Violence Jack. It's all you need to care about. And then Violence Jack has a showdown with the giant, gang leader from Block B.
Two giant guys duking it out.
Kicks his ass, but then the gang leader from Block B loses his mind and finds, the trans woman was his lover, so he was mad about it. So he's like, I'm going to take you inside of me, and he just eats the corpse.
The whole thing.
And then there's weird stuff where he turns
And then
into a monster,
yeah,
but then
like,
he's not really a monster.
After he eats the corpse, he like hulks out for some reason.
But does he really? Because then later he's not looking like that, and then there's all the weird stuff with
He just hulked out for a minute, man.
with the silhouettes, and it gets a little experimental. You know what I mean? It gets a little weird, that fight with Violent Jack.
Oh
and him.
yeah, that fight is like, it's like it's stylized, but it's 80s stylized, so it's basically like colored pencils.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It looks kind of cool, actually.
It's a cool idea. Like it's interesting to see something experimental in such a kind of lowbrow anime otherwise.
It is.
And then the rest of the girls from Block C do get to escape to the surface. Violence Jack, walks off into the sunset, and it's basically over. There's not much that goes on here.
No, it's not.
So yeah, what did
It's 90% shock value.
what did you like about Violence Jack?
I kind of liked everything about it.
Besides everything, yeah.
I mean, there's no need for it to be that rapey.
No.
Like, that was pure shock value to, like, sell tickets. Because it didn't have much to do with the story. Like, we know these guys are shitbags. You don't have to have, like, a 20-minute orgy scene. Which, whatever. Who am I to complain? But, it's got some really good, like, ultra-violence. Like, there's some really good gifts in there, I would say.
Oh yeah. Oh no, there's some good stuff in there. Some of the like, worst anime deaths I've ever seen. Like, like I said, the girl getting picked up by Violence Jack by the legs, ripped in half. Like,
that's pretty good.
That one's pretty good.
It
They
had
show
way
you.
more of a story than I remember it having.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of that shit. I mean, we've seen 1,000 of them where it's just like, there's really no plot. It's just like...
No, there's a lot of story behind the tension going on between the blocks.
Yeah, it's a really interesting... I thought it was like an interesting premise that they don't do enough.
It was.
Because,
I
mean, a place that's like that prone to earthquakes, like you'd figure they'd do more shit like that. Like something just sinks and you're all stuck down there.
It's like, the much more violent version of Daylight. Oh, wait, no one remembers Daylight? Oh, sorry.
It's got that Lord of the Flies vibe where everybody's just like,
Sylvester Stallone people.
You've got tribes vying for power.
Yeah. It's... I like it. So the director I was looking up what the hell else he did. So he did Angel Cop, Battle Royal High School, Megazone 23.
Makes sense, yeah.
Gantz. So it makes some sense. Blast Ritter.
He's definitely got a style.
Yeah, so he's got that style. So, yeah.
Anyway, I liked it a lot better than I thought I would. Because I didn't really remember. I've seen it, but I didn't really remember it.
And the directors. Oh, my God. It's Ichiro Otano.
Really?
Who is well known. So this is an aside for you. So the director of this is the man known for the Otano Circus, which comes from Across, which is the ridiculous amount of missiles that would come out and go fucking everywhere.
Yep.
So this is the man who freaking created that, and here's his crazy half hentai anime based on Uncle Go's work. So
all I'm saying is it's way better than it has any right to be. Like, the production was decent, direction was good. Like, it actually had a plot, unlike whatever the fuck we watched last week. I don't even remember what it was.
What, the week before Cybernex Guardian?
Yeah, Cybernex Guardian. Yeah. It had way better plot than that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Violence Jack was actually kind of a bro.
Oh, yeah.
He just helped out whoever saved him.
No, he was a solid dude.
He was a solid dude.
No, it's good. It's one of those... Unfortunately, in the West, more obscure Uncle Go works, but I mean, it really did set up that whole, post-apocalyptic wasteland aesthetic.
Oh, yeah, you could see, like, direct, there to Fist of the North Star, like, easy.
Yep. And like I said, Road Warrior, someone had to be aware. If it wasn't George Miller, someone involved had to be aware.
Like, the aesthetic is so there.
Or there was just something in the water, like it was the zeitgeist at the time that was going to pop up independently, but, very cool. So yeah, definitely check it out. Like I'm not going to say it's the best thing I've ever watched, but it's good, and it's an hour long, and it's from a classic franchise that gets underloved. So
yeah, I think like the shock value like makes people want to watch it less, but there's a lot of good shit in there.
Yeah, no, it's deeper than you would think based on the
and if you enjoy,
gifts you will see from it.
If you enjoy chicks with dicks trying to rape some other chick and then getting their head ripped off.
And then getting eaten.
It's...
if that's the exact fetish you're into, this caters directly to you.
It's got, like, everything you could ever desire.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Definitely. And the animation's good. So that's one thing I didn't talk about too much. The animation's good. It's got that good mid to late 80s OVA animation. Yeah. Like, it's not phenomenal, but it's good. It's not...
I don't even know if it's in print anywhere, but if you sail the high seas, there's a really good Blu-ray rip of it.
Yeah, if you can get it, if you could buy it, buy it.
Yeah, I would buy it.
I would buy it. Like, if I'm gonna look,
I'm sure
and
it's
see if I
not
can
that
get
expensive, and it was well worth it. But anyway, that is it for today. Yeah. So as always, Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time.
Peace. Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, well, entertaining.